Hi, my name is Julie Gayler. I'm a photographer based out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and I'm going to show you some tips today for faking window light for portraits. Sometimes window light is exactly where you want it for portraits, and sometimes you just have to fake it. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the optical spot and the FJ800 along with the FJ400 V2s to create a portrait that looks like there's window light, but we're actually just faking the whole thing. There are three things you need to know about faking window light. One of them is the type of window light that you are going to be faking. The second one is the direction of the light. And the third is fill, and that is actually the most important part. But first, the type of window light. We want this to look like there's some blinds in this scene. And what we're going to use for that is the FJ800 and the optical spot. The optical spot, we can put a gobo in front of it that has the window blind shape that's going to create the look of fake blinds. The second thing we're worried about is the direction. One thing that we do sometimes in the studio when we're using shaped light is we move the light around to the front and put it on the person. But in the scene, the window light is actually coming from the side. So we've placed our light over to the side to mimic the direction of a window. And the third and most important part is fill. Anytime that we have window light coming in the room, we're actually, even though that light is being created by one light source, when we are creating it, we actually need two light sources. One of them is going to set the shape of the light or the blinds, and the other is going to lift the shadows because light bounces around the room naturally and will give us some detail in those shadows. We don't want to miss out on those. Otherwise, we'll just have pitch black, dark details. So I'm going to walk you through this setup of how we get this fake window light look. The first thing you actually start with when you're setting this scene is you actually are going to start with your shadows. And the reason for that is if you build with your main light first and then start adding fill to the scene, you might end up in this circular of adjusting lights where you're turning the fill up and then down and the main up and then down. But if you start with the darkest areas of the scene and you light your shadows first and then build each light in separately, you're only adjusting each light once. So the first light that we're going to use in this scene is behind her. It's going to be lifting the shadows behind the chair and on the wall because there's a lot of dark tones in this image. We have a dark black chair, black hair against a really dark green wall. So I've got that back light, the FJ400 V2 with the Joel Grimes beauty dish in white in the back to lift the shadows behind her. So I'm going to turn that light on first, and I've got it set to C. Using the T1 touch trigger, all I have to do is tap to turn it on. So I'm going to start that out on a low power just to lift the shadows. Now that I've fired that back hair light, or the background light as it were, what I'm looking for is just enough lift in the shadows to define her shoulders, her hair, and the back of the chair. This doesn't need to be a lot of light. We don't want to overpower it and introduce a different direction of light. We're just lifting the shadows a little bit so we have that dimension there and that the picture doesn't go flat. The next light that I'm going to add is the main fill to lift the shadows from the front. And that's because, again, when the light comes in the window, it's actually lifting the shadows in the room and bouncing around the room. This is going to be my B light, and I'm using the FJ400 V2 with the Manny Ortiz beauty dish in white as well. So I'm going to cut that on, and I'm going to take a shot here, and I'm looking for the shadow level to be raised in the whole room. I want to be able to see her legs, the floor, and her shoes, and all the other dark tones in this scene. However dramatic you want this shot, this is where you make your creative adjustment based on how much fill you use. So if you want it very dramatic, you just add a little bit of fill. And if you want it less dramatic, like earlier in the daylight, then you would add a lot more fill. I'm kind of going for that afternoon glow, so I just want just a little bit because it's more dramatic light that comes in towards the end of the day. So I'm happy with where the power is here. The last light that I'm going to add is the fun light. It's the optical spot. I'm using the FJ800 along with the 50mm lens and the blinds gobo. The gobo is just another name for go-between optics, or the piece that goes in between the light and the lens to create the shape of the light. And now I'm going to put that on, and we'll see where the real magic happens to bring that window to life. Now that we have the optical spot firing, we also want to decide how sharp or defined. You can dial that in the way that you want. You can make it really crisp and sharp, or you can make it more blurred just by adjusting the front of the lens. Something with crisp, sharp, defined lines is going to reference a little bit more of a film noir look, where they used a really strong lighting effect. If we blur the gobo a little bit more, it's going to give us a more cinematic look or a more natural look. That's the look I prefer for this scene, so I'm going to keep this blurred look. The last trick, as you're posing your subject, is to give them a little guidance to kind of look for the light with their face. As their body moves or turns around, they're going to need to cheat their face up or down to keep their eye line in between the lines of those fake blinds. It can be a little bit of trick and take a little bit of patience, but it also adds a little bit of fun to the scene. Are we going to be in the shadows, or are we going to be back in the light again? All right, so here we go. We're going to bring your chin down just a little bit more. Once you get all of your lights set up, you can actually change your angles to change the look of the scene. As long as the distance from your light to the subject stays the same, your exposure isn't going to change, so it's just going to change the feel of the image. If you shoot with the direction of the optical spot, you're going to get a little bit more light across all of them. And if you switch to shooting opposite the optical spot or into the shadows, you're going to get a lot more dramatic look. The creative choice is yours. Faking window light is a good tool to have in your back pocket because ideal window light isn't always available. With the optical spot, you have so many creative options available to you, from changing out the gobos to different shapes and different kinds of windows, to varying the fill and the exposure. You can have full creative control over the window light that best tells the story for your scene. I hope that you've enjoyed these tips of how to fake it until you make it with window light.